Ever wondered what it's like to work for the royal family? Working for the royal family might sound like a dream job, but it's a world where every word you say and move you make is bound by a strict set of rules to maintain the monarchy's dignity and tradition. What happens when even a small mistake could shake the very image of the monarchy? In this video, we'll look at the rules that define life inside the royal inner circle. Privacy above all. Everything about privacy is affected when you work with the royal family. The most important rule is to keep secrets. People who work for the royal family are expected to keep quiet about everything that goes on behind the palace walls. Employees are given information that they can never share, whether it's about a personal matter or something that affects the public. Not just to be nice, but also because it's the only way to live as a royal. If workers talk about personal things, the government could be in danger as a whole. This rule of silence isn't just meant to keep the royal family out of the public eye, it's also meant to protect them from the constant attention they get. What if a royal family member's secret engagement or health problem got out before they were ready to talk about it? Some people might get so excited about it that they forget about what really matters. So keeping secrets helps keep the peace and make sure that no one is surprised when something is made public too soon. The royal family has a big impact on the public. Millions of people around the world watch everything they do. If secrecy is broken, it could lead to unwanted attention, rumors, or even a scandal. Staff members play a big role in keeping these kinds of things from happening. They protect the family's image by making sure that nothing gets out or is misunderstood. This also protects the members' emotional health. All staff members are expected to follow this policy in every part of their jobs. No matter if it's a small change to the family's schedule, a serious medical issue, or a private meeting, everyone is expected to speak when their turn comes up. This trust between staff members and the royal family keeps the government running smoothly, with little to no interference from the public or the media. Royal staff are taught not to talk about private conversations, special events, or the royal family's health issues with anyone else. A royal engagement could be one of the most exciting times in the family's life. If news gets out before it's supposed to, the press could turn the event into a show. In medical cases, things work the same way. The staff has to be quiet until the royal family is ready to tell everyone directly, even if a member of the family is sick. Staff members have to follow this rule even when they leave the house. Sometimes, their whole job depends on it. In the past, workers had to live with knowing about important events without letting a single word get out. This often went on for years. They do a lot to keep things private, like not talking about family issues or just staying out of public view when things are private. The rule is clear: silence is golden, and protecting the royal family's privacy is paramount. While maintaining confidentiality is vital, the role of uniforms and dress code adds another layer to the monarchy's traditions. Dress code and uniforms. In the royal family, how you look is just as important as how you act. The staff has to follow a strict dress code that tells them what to wear, when to wear it, and how to wear it. It's not just about how you look. It's also about following royal rules and customs. Basically, everything needs to look smooth, clean, and fine. In royal life, uniforms are very important for people who work as staff. These clothes are more than just clothes, they show their rank and relationship to the royal family. The event might have changed a staff member's outfit. There are different rules to follow during royal trips or ceremonies, but for formal events like state banquets, you should wear a suit or fancy dress. No matter what the event is, the dress code says that staff members should look good and follow the high standards of the royal family. Everyone on the staff has to be very careful about what they wear because the way they look is seen as a direct reflection of the royal family. Even the tiny parts are important. From the way a shirt is tied to the way shoes are shined, there is no room for error. Cultural sensitivity is also stressed a lot in the dress code. People who work for the royal family must know about the rules of other countries and make sure that their clothes don't upset anyone when they go there. If the royal family goes to Africa or the Middle East, they will know what is appropriate in each society. This will keep their image in good shape and prevent any cultural faux pas. The people who work for the royal family have to get very good at walking the fine line between respect and grace. Since the royal dress code calls for formality and regularity, it's not just about looking good. The people who work for the royal family can't dress however they want, but they also can't dress casually. There is a time and a place for everything. For example, people who work for the royal family at the palace have to wear perfect uniforms that are generally styled after the military. When someone is visiting on behalf of the government, however, the dress code changes. Usually, more traditional or formal clothes are worn that fit the event. When employees are not on job, they still have to follow a certain level of formality. There is a deeper reason for this dress code than just following the rules for the sake of following them. By dressing in a certain way, staff members show support for the monarchy's values of respect and formality. The dress code is a way for workers to show that they are professional, look their best, and keep up the standards that the monarchy has always been known for: timing and punctuality. The royal family has one simple rule when it comes to timing: be on time, every time. And not just on time, early is better. Royal staff members are expected to be ready and on time for any event, just like in the military. Respecting everyone involved, from the royals to the other staff, is what it's all about. It's not about being late or giving yourself more time. Don't show up at 9:59 a.m. if the event is at 10 a.m. The rule says that everyone should be ready and in place long before the hour hits. In fact, getting there early is the best way to escape any last-minute rushes or delays. If you are on the royal team, you should be able to see problems coming and make plans for how to solve them. Not a single choice is late, not even by a minute. Even small mistakes in time have been known to lead to fines. Being on time is taken so seriously that even a few seconds can mess up the processes. Being on time is very important for the royal family to keep up the efficiency and control they are known for. As long as everyone shows up on time, the family may have a great public image because the schedule works perfectly. It also shows how dedicated the workers are to their jobs, which means they are willing to put in the time and effort needed to respect royal duties. Staff learn over time that the royal family doesn't change their schedules. There's no room for mistakes, and traffic or bad weather won't excuse being late. The staff needs to be able to precisely plan their time so that they can be where they need to be before the royal guests come. Whether the royal car is getting ready for a visit or the scene for an event is being set up, everything depends on being exact. Nothing can get in the way of the flow of things. The royal family's strict adherence to schedules shows the world how disciplined and organized they really are. It's not just about making sure events run smoothly, it's also about showing reliability and professionalism. Because of the royal family's busy schedule, this level of perfection is necessary, and it's the servant's job every day to make sure everything goes as planned. The royal language. In the world of the royal family, how you talk to people is just as important as what you say. When staff members and family members talk or write to each other, they must follow strict rules. People expect all communication to be official, polite, and correct, whether it's in person or in writing. Not just the words themselves, but also picking the right tone, titles, and sentences to show the right amount of respect. When you deal with a king, you need to do more than just say hello. The title says it all. When you talk to someone, you will use certain words like Your Majesty for the Queen or Your Royal Highness for someone else. Fixing these names is very important because if you don't, you could really offend someone. When you talk to the royal family, you need to know their first names and have casual conversations that aren't appropriate for this setting. This level of formality shows up in both spoken and writing communication. The words used in a letter or a conversation must show respect for the royal family. The royal court doesn't take hey or hi as a greeting. Everything is done in a professional way that makes sure the word is clear and respectful. If you break this communication method, bad things could happen. If a service worker doesn't use the right term or tone, they might be breaking royal protocol. Even though these mistakes might not seem important, they have a big effect on how the royal family is seen. A simple mistake could lead to punishments ranging from a warning word to harsher punishments. The royal need for official contact goes beyond titles. It has to do with showing respect and keeping a safe distance. Communication with the royal family shows how important they are. It makes sure that everyone knows their job by making it clear who the royals are and who works for them. Beyond words and actions, the royal family's expectations for conduct extend deeply into how staff manage their personal boundaries. The no intimacy rule. When it comes to relationships, the royal family staff only has one clear rule: keep them strictly professional. Romantic connections or personal relationships between staff members are strictly off-limits, and for good reason. The monarchy makes sure that everyone working behind the scenes stays focused on their tasks and doesn't get distracted in any way that could lead to conflicts of interest or unwanted chaos. The rule is an important part of royal etiquette. It's not just a suggestion. Staff members are supposed to leave their personal lives at home when they start work. It's not allowed at all, whether you're dating someone in the royal service or getting to know someone from outside the service. Obviously, professionalism is the most important thing. Anything that makes that less professional must be avoided. Why is this rule so strict? Making sure the royal family keeps up their good looks will help solve this problem. The ties between staff members could lead to rumors, chatter, and unwanted attention. These events can quickly become issues that could take the royal family's attention away from their duties. One bad relationship between two people could become public and get unwanted media attention, which is something the royal family tries to avoid. The monarchy's image is fragile, so any scandal, no matter how small, could hurt their standing in the eyes of the public. So that things don't get messy, the royal staff keeps their personal lives completely separate from their work. People who work there have been in love relationships in the past, but things never worked out. When it does happen, the results are not good. People on the staff who were involved were sometimes told to quit so that the problem wouldn't get worse. These events remind us of how careful the royal family is to keep things in balance. Staff members could lose their jobs and have their reputations hurt, even if they only accidentally break the rules. Since the monarchy has a past of strict behavior, everyone who works for the royal family needs to know how important it is to keep personal matters out of work. This rule makes sure that the focus stays on the royal tasks and responsibilities, as well as the high level of professionalism that all staff members are expected to show. The no-comment zone. The royal family is always in the public eye, so everyone on staff has to be very careful when they talk to the press. The only general rule is no comments. Staff members aren't allowed to say anything public about the royal family or what they're doing unless it's directly related to their job. So only official spokespersons or authorized people will be able to speak for the family. This keeps royal story control. Not just to avoid problems, but also to keep control over what information is given to the public. Especially when it comes to the press, every word counts. Journalists, paparazzi, and other media workers are always looking for new stories. A small mistake could easily cause a media storm. People who work for the royal family are supposed to keep quiet about any part of royal life that is not their job. If a staff member breaks this rule and tells the media private information, they will be punished severely. People have been fired for making even small comments. These rules help make sure that the royal family's private life stays private and that their reputation doesn't get hurt. Staff members need to understand how important it is to be quiet and not say anything. If they break the rules, they could be fired. When it comes to managing the press, employees are also given rules on how to treat photographers and writers. They are taught how to politely decline interviews or not share any knowledge about the royal family. The goal is to keep secret conversations and plans from getting out to the public. Nothing comes out from behind closed doors. This level of care protects not only the royal family but also their reputation at work and with the public. The royal family's staff makes sure they stay part of a well-oiled machine by following this strict no-comment policy. Each member is important for protecting the monarchy's image, personal behavior, and conduct. The royal staff doesn't just follow a set of rules about how to act, they live by them every day. As soon as they take on responsibility, they have to act with the utmost humility no matter what. The employees have to talk about the royal family in a way that protects their views and reputation, whether they are in public or in private. The way royal staff members act in public is always being looked at. They are not just workers. They are royal representatives, and everyone is watching how they act. Not just being polite or respectful, it's also about keeping your pride and being a professional. Any mistake, no matter how small, could be seen as an indication of the royal family. So, people who work for the royal family are expected to be calm, act with respect, and be the very best in terms of style and manners, no matter what. They have to always act in a way that is appropriate for the royal family, whether they are in a private chat, at a formal event, or just going about their daily business. Aside from how they act in public, workers should always have the highest moral standards. This means not doing anything that could hurt the royal family's image. This includes everything from how to handle personal relationships to choosing not to do things or act in ways that are seen as controversial. If a staff member goes against what is expected, they could face hard punishments. People on staff have been fired before for personal behavior that didn't follow royal family rules. There is a lot of attention paid to anything that could hurt the monarchy's reputation, no matter how small or big it is. Why is this so important? Given that the royal family is a sign of the country, any bad behavior by a staff member could hurt that image. If the monarchy wants to keep its place in society, everything has to stay true to tradition, respect, and responsibility. This includes how employees act behind closed doors and how they show themselves. People who don't meet these standards put not only their jobs at risk, but also the public's trust in the family they work for. A lifelong duty. Royal employees have to be loyal to the crown as part of their job, and it's also how they're expected to act in the royal family. Everyone on staff has to be completely devoted to the monarchy because they know that what they do goes beyond their job title. It has to do with loyalty to the crown. The royal family has always been a symbol of continuity, and the loyalty of the staff helps to keep this organization strong and whole. The people who work for the royal family should not take loyalty lightly. To serve the crown with respect and loyalty for life is to make this promise. Their main job is to protect the monarchy's traditions, ideals, and good name. This dedication shows in every part of their job, from doing regular jobs to helping with royal events and activities. The royal family's continued success depends on what they do, so their devotion to the crown must be very important. Royal loyalty has been a big part of keeping the monarchy stable throughout history. There have been times when workers' loyalty has been called into question, even though many have been very loyal. Staff members have rarely turned on the royal family, and when they have, bad things have happened. Anyone who has been disloyal has had to deal with the full force of the results, whether that means being shamed in public or losing their job. These things make us remember how important it is for the royal family to be loyal. It's what keeps the government stable and the public's opinion of it strong. Why is it so important to be consistent? It ensures that the royal family stays together because they have a duty to the people and don't have to deal with any problems within the family or outside influences. If the government wants to keep its honor, the people who work for it must be completely dedicated to their job. This unwavering devotion helps keep the monarchy's good name and its place in the hearts of the people. But beyond their professional duties, royal staff must also navigate strict boundaries that ensure the royal family's privacy remains intact. A strict no-go zone. When you work with the royal family, you need to know right away that you can't talk about their personal life. The staff should treat the royal person's place like a line they shouldn't cross. That means you can't go into their vacation home or personal property without permission. The royal family relaxes, spends time with their children, and just hangs out in these places that the public can't see. This is a simple but strict rule. Don't get involved in their personal life. For example, there are very clear rules about where employees can and cannot visit. No-go zones include private rooms, personal offices, and even some parts of the royal homes. It's not just about being polite. It's also about protecting the privacy of the royal family. No one wants people coming and going all the time to ruin their free time. The staff must always follow these rules, even if they are only a few steps away from the royal family while on duty or at a party. Taking extra care of personal space beyond what is clear. Their personal time as a king is theirs to enjoy without anyone getting in the way, whether they are sleeping, on vacation, or with close family. During personal time, employees should stay out of the way, protect their privacy, and not bother them in any way. People who work for the royal family have to always make time for them, just like everyone else. It's a matter of understanding how personal events are different from work duties. As hard as they work, they need a place to relax and recharge when it's downtime. What will happen if these limits are broken? It doesn't look good. People on staff who have gone above and beyond their duties in the past have been punished severely. People who tried to get too close, asked too many personal questions, or broke people's privacy have been punished or even fired. These rules are there to protect the family from the prying eyes of the world, not just to make the royals feel better. In a world where news stories never stop, protecting your personal space is very important. It's easy to see why these limits need to be respected. The royal family's staff has to make sure that they can live their own lives without being constantly interrupted. Staff who follow this line of respect help make sure that the royals can enjoy their free time without being watched, which is very important in a society where everyone is always looking. The royal purse is sacred. Handling money in the royal family is no ordinary task. It's a duty that requires the highest moral standards. Every dollar, from the crown's wealth to donations to good causes, is treated according to strict rules to make sure the family's money stays in order. Members of staff are in charge of a lot of money and must always keep things honest. The first rule, royal purse is sacred. No one should ever be careless with money or do something wrong with it. Staff members are in charge of making sure that all money is spent carefully, whether it's for the royal family or for fun. Taking care of public money, giving to charity, and even giving gifts to the royal family are all covered. Every single financial deal has to be open and written down. There have been scandals involving bad money handling in the past. Staff members who have misused royal funds or used money for their own gain have been punished severely. In addition to ending a job, these leaks can make people angry and hurt the royal family's reputation. The government depends on the trust and respect of the people. Any sign of dishonesty can quickly cause problems. For what reason are these rules so strict? Making sure the monarchy's finances are honest is important for keeping its good name. People in the royal family are rich so that the country can gain, not just for their own pleasure. That means that all money needs to be carefully managed to make sure that no resources or money are wasted. Keeping things in order is important for keeping the monarchy's honor and for making sure that the family can do their important work without having to worry about money. By following these rules, the royal family makes sure that their money is treated with the respect and openness that they deserve. When it comes to managing money, mistakes are impossible because everyone on staff knows they need to follow the rules. Staff at public events. A lot of work goes into royal events that you don't see on TV. Staff members make sure that everything goes smoothly and is in place from the time that guests arrive until the big show. Their value helps keep the event's professionalism, organization, and sense of royal honor. Every royal event has a carefully planned schedule that everyone working there has to follow to the letter. No mistakes can be made in the smallest details, like when the speeches will happen or how the guests will show up. The people who work at the event have to always be ready for what's coming up so that everything goes smoothly. These plans are set in stone. For the family's image to stay intact, everything must go as planned. There are strict rules about how much attention staff members can get, even though they know everything that goes on behind the scenes. Their job is to make sure that everything works smoothly behind the scenes. They are not supposed to talk to guests. People who work there have to blend in and do their jobs without drawing attention to themselves. Because of this, they stay in the background and focus on their jobs while everyone else basks in the fame. Take a royal wedding or a state dinner as an example. While keeping things very private, these events need staff to take care of things like greeting guests, finding seats, and making sure there is food. Their job is to keep the royal family focused on their work and show that they are dignified and calm. Staff members also have to make sure that no one goes against the rules or causes trouble in the formal setting, which keeps everything running smoothly. So why does it all matter? To show the cultural value of the monarchy in every royal event. Since these events are seen by people all over the world, the royal family's reputation is shown by how their workers act and make sure everything goes smoothly. The event is better when workers are at their best, and the effects last longer for everyone there, and for the millions of people watching at home. The unwritten rules of royal service. There are rules in royal service that are just as important as the others, even though they aren't written down. Respect, professionalism, and smooth backroom operations are all supported by these unwritten rules. There aren't any government handbooks that talk about them, but everyone who works with the royal family knows what they are. The most important thing is the need for attitude. Staff members should always be polite, easy to talk to, and willing to help. They are part of a team that supports the royal family, so how they act is very important for everything to go smoothly. A polite but quiet staff member who knows when to talk and when to hold back is the type of person who keeps things running smoothly without being a distraction. To be friendly, workers should always be willing to help, but they should do it in a way that doesn't get in the way of the events or draw attention to themselves. Polite silence is another important part of these unwritten rules. The staff needs to know when to be quiet, whether it's a formal event, a meeting with the king or queen, or a private moment. One of the most important skills is being able to tell ahead of time when the royal family needs private or a quiet time. Staff members know that sometimes it's their job to be there, but not be seen. They aren't told to be quiet. Most of the time, these unwritten rules show up in the smallest actions. Staff members who have worked with the royal family before know how to handle problems with ease. They know exactly what the royal family wants and how to give them privacy, even when they are not told to. One thing they know is how to handle difficult topics and keep track of guest lists without drawing attention to themselves or demanding credit. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Click on the next video popping up on your screen to keep the journey going.